Welcome back. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to the President of Mauritania, Mohammed Ould El Sheikh Al Ghazouani, on his country's Independence Day. His Majesty wished the Mauritanian President abundant health and happiness, and the people of Mauritania further progress and prosperity. His Majesty praised the strong relations between the two countries and people and their steady progress, affirming the continuation of joint work and coordination to achieve the two countries' common interests. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received at Sakhir Palace the Minister of Health, Dr. Jaila bint Sayyid Jawad, and the CEO and CMO of American Mission Hospital, Dr. George Shriyan, who presented His Majesty with a model of the newly opened hospital, and the group CEO of American Mission Hospital, Julia Tovey, who presented His Majesty with a book titled A Journey Through Time, which was written by her. His Majesty the King welcomed Dr. Shriyan and Tovey and expressed thanks and appreciation for their gifts. His Majesty commended the hospital's efforts in providing the best medical care to citizens and residents and the people of the region, and the excellent reputation it maintains, making it the region's first leading hospital with over 120 years of experience in the field, and its contributions in enhancing health and therapeutic care. His Majesty the King hailed the depth of the historic Bahrain-US relations and their cooperation in various sectors, including health and medicine. Dr. Shriyan expressed his thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King for his ongoing support to the hospital and its staff since its establishment in Bahrain, which reflects the long-standing ties or friendship ties between the two countries. During the meeting, the group CEO of the hospital presented a book documenting the history of the American mission since 1902, in addition to a group of pictures included in the book. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa ratified and promulgated Law 23 of the year 2023, amending Article 180 of Decree Law 55 of the year 2002 regarding bylaw of the Shura Council, following its approval by the Shura and Representatives Councils. Article 180 of Decree Law 55 of the year 2002 regarding the bylaw of the Shura Council shall be amended as follows. The Secretariat General shall prepare the final account of the Shura Council and submit it to the Chairman after its auditing within 3 months after the end of the fiscal year. The Chairman shall refer it to the Council's Bureau to examine it ahead of its referral to the Council to discuss it and approve it. The Council's Bureau may refer the final account to the Financial and Economic Committee to discuss it and submit a report on it to the following Council's meeting. The approval and issuance procedures of the Council's audited final account shall be similar to those followed in approving and issuing the Council's budget. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa sent a cable of congratulations to the President of Mauritania, Mohammed Ould El Sheikh Al Ghazouani, on the occasion of his country's Independence Day. His Royal Highness also sent a similar cable to the Prime Minister of Mauritania, Mohammed Ould Bilal. The Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at Ghadaybiya Palace. The cabinet noted the opening of the 6th edition of the Bahrain Agricultural and Animal Production Show Mara'i 2023, held under the patronage of His Majesty the King. The cabinet affirmed the government's commitment to further its agricultural, livestock and mariculture development through plans and initiatives that promote food security. This follows the Cabinet's review of a report submitted by the Minister of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture, noting the organizational efforts made by the Ministry and the relevant government agencies, which contributed to the success of the event. The Cabinet congratulated Her Royal Highness, the wife of His Majesty the King and President of the Supreme Council for Women, Princess Sabika bint Ibrahim Al Khalifa, on Bahraini Women's Day. The Cabinet commended the efforts of the SWC in empowering Bahraini women and highlighting their achievements in various fields. The Cabinet congratulated the President, government and people of the UAE on their 52nd Union Day. The Cabinet noted the UAE's ongoing development led by the President of the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, with the support of Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and Vice President, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the Presidential Court of the UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, wishing them further growth and prosperity. The Cabinet affirmed the importance of the 28th United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP28, which will be hosted by the UAE. The Cabinet wished the UAE success in hosting this global event. In this regard, it approved a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on documents related to COP28. The Cabinet then approved the following. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance on updating the performance indicator of the 2022-2026 industrial sector strategy, which falls under the priority of developing promising sectors within the Kingdom's economic recovery plan and strengthening them with initiatives that achieve environmental security. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on a draft decree naming the relevant minister and ministry responsible for implementing the decree law on regulating fishing, exploitation and protection of marine wealth. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on a draft decision regarding the establishment of functional requirements and controls for urban heritage. A memorandum submitted by the Minister of Municipalities Affairs and Agriculture regarding a draft reissuing a decision on classifications and regulatory requirements for modern construction. A memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Legal and Legislative Affairs on the government's response to 3 proposals submitted by the Council of Representatives. The Cabinet then reviewed a memorandum submitted by the Ministerial Committee for Financial and Economic Affairs and Fiscal Balance on the economic outcomes of the recent events hosted by Exhibition World Bahrain during the month of November. The Cabinet expressed its gratitude to all parties who have helped organize these events. In addition, the Cabinet noted the following ministerial reports. The outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 11th session of the UAE Bahrain Joint Higher Committee. The outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the first meeting of the Bahrain Egyptian Government Committee for Trade, Economic, Scientific and Technological Cooperation. The outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 5th Islamic Conference of Labour Ministers. The Kingdom's participation in the Dubai Air Show 2023. The outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the 25th meeting of Committee of Under Secretaries of Ministry of Transport in the GCC. The Kingdom's participation in the 2023 World Radio Communication Conference. The Kingdom's participation in the 17th meeting of the Executive Office of the Arab Water Conference, 15th session of the Arab Ministerial Water Council and the 5th Arab Water Conference. The outcomes of the Kingdom's participation in the Shenzhen Global Innovation Entrepreneurship Conference 2023. And the external participation of various ministers and visits of foreign delegations to Bahrain in December 2023. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa delegated Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa to attend the reception ceremony organized by the UAE Embassy to Bahrain on the occasion of the UAE's 52nd Union Day. Upon arrival, the Deputy Premier, accompanied by a number of ministers, was received by the UAE Ambassador to Bahrain, Sheikh Sultan bin Hamdan bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Sheikh Khalid bin Abdullah conveyed the congratulations of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister to the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the UAE Vice President, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the Presidential Court, His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, and to the Emirati people. Sheikh Khalid also affirmed that the brotherly and historic relations between the two countries, in light of the support of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and the UAE President, reflect the humanitarian values, harmony, loyalty, and mutual respect. The Deputy Premier also noted that the UAE's vital role in maintaining security and stability in the region and its contributions at the global level, which aim to unify international efforts to face challenges. He hailed the UAE's efforts to host COP28, expressing Bahrain's commitment to supporting all initiatives aimed at facing common challenges, wishing the UAE further progress and prosperity. The ambassador expressed thanks and appreciation to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister for his keenness on supporting fraternal ties, and to the Deputy Prime Minister for patronizing the ceremony. The ambassador affirmed that the ceremony affirms the depth of fraternal relations which received the support of the UAE President and His Majesty the King.
In celebration of the Bahraini people's appreciation for the United Arab Emirates, a group of senior officials, politicians, diplomats and intellectuals participated in the celebration held by the United Arab Emirates Embassy in the Kingdom of Bahrain on the occasion of the 52nd anniversary of the UAE's Union Day. The Bahraini-Emirati relations have been based on distinguished cooperation for decades, which was established by the forefathers of both countries to become a unique example of solidarity and brotherhood in various political, economic and cultural fields. The ceremony's attendance emphasized the prestigious status and respect all the countries in the region and the world have for the UAE, an appreciation of its active role in growth, development and prosperity it is witnessing in various fields.
Works Minister Engineer Ibrahim Al-Hawaj inspected a number of infrastructure development projects in the capital governorate's third constituency. The minister was briefed on the details of infrastructure development projects, which include constructing roads, installing lighting, laying ground channels for use by services in the future, as well as placing the necessary traffic signs to achieve the required road safety. The minister indicated that the Works Ministry is keen to implement its projects to develop infrastructure which will contribute to improving the quality of the services delivered to the members of society, commending the efforts being made to implement the projects according to the highest quality standards. The National Initiative for Agricultural Development NIAD's Secretary General Sheikh Maram bint Isa Al Khalifa expressed her pride in the cooperation with the Bahrain Development Bank BDB in increasing the green areas in the kingdom. Sheikh Maram, alongside with BDB CEO Dalal Al Ghais, has attended afforestation projects in Rafah Walk Park. The afforestation project is part of the third phase of the National Afforestation Campaign Forever Green. Sheikh Maram indicated that this cooperation is consistent with the national goals of Bahrain and achieved the royal directives of His Majesty the King, His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and Her Royal Highness the wife of His Majesty the King, the chairperson of the Advisory Council of NIAD, in actively contributing to supporting government efforts towards achieving zero carbon neutrality by 2060. Dalal Al-Ghais stressed that the bank's participation in the Forever Green campaign comes to achieve the goal of reaching zero neutrality by 2060 and contributes to creating a sustainable environment by increasing the green area in the kingdom and reducing carbon emissions. The Kingdom of Bahrain registered its name in the list of honor of the World Snooker Champions with the victory of Habib Sabah and Hisham Al-Sagir in the Masters category. More in this report.
The Bahraini snooker team recorded a golden achievement by winning the World Snooker Championship in the Masters category after defeating its Belgian counterpart by 4-3 in the final match of the tournament. This honorable achievement is thanks to the support of the first Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, Chairman of the General Sports Authority, and President of Bahrain Olympic Committee, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Bahraini player Habib Sabah ascended the podium as world champion and was crowned with the Masters Singles Snooker Gold Medal. Habib Sabah and Hisham Al-Sagir won the gold medal in the Masters snooker teams, which confirms their position among the world's players, and this achievement is thanks to the support of the General Sports Authority, the Bahrain Olympic Committee, and the Ministry of Interior. These accomplishments will continue to be achieved thanks to the unlimited support of His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, whose support contributes to placing the kingdom on the world sports map.
In our international news, delegations of member states of the European Union, the Middle East and North Africa met in the Spanish city of Barcelona to discuss the Gaza war, coinciding with the approaching end of the temporary truce. The Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud called for the necessity of working on a credible peace plan to end the catastrophic situation in Gaza. His remarks came during the 8th Ministerial Forum of the Union for the Mediterranean. He stressed the importance of the two-state solution to end the escalating conflict. The truce between Israel and Hamas entered its final 24 hours, with Hamas saying it was willing to extend the pause after it freed more hostages. The Israeli army confirmed receiving the 13 hostages from the International Committee of the Red Cross in exchange for 39 Palestinian prisoners. The truce deal also stipulates the release of 50 Israeli hostages from Gaza in exchange for some 150 Palestinians. Meanwhile, mediation efforts have been intensified to extend the current humanitarian ceasefire. The UN said since Friday, over 500 trucks loaded with humanitarian aid have entered Gaza through the Rafah crossing. A one-day international forum on the propaganda of hatred and violence in media took place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Secretary General of the Muslim World League, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Karim Al Isa, said brutal aggression against the Palestinian people by Israel is a disgrace to humanity and to the countries that support Israel. The event called for strengthening the values of friendship between nations and people so that humanity can live in peace and security away from the control of hatred in its ugliest form and the use of double standards. In lighter news, the artificial intelligence world has been shocked by the chatbot, which kicked off the generative AI era by producing human-like text, images, videos, and music. More in this report.
After a weekend of speculation, Microsoft has snapped up Sam Altman and another architect of OpenAI for a new venture after their sudden departures shocked the artificial intelligence world. OpenAI's chatbot ChatGPT was launched in November 2022.
I believe that there will be far greater jobs on the other side of this, and that the jobs of today will get better.
In Denmark, a collection of 5 high school students began encouraging the use of technology in some classes as part of a 2-year project. In this recent English class, students were tasked with analyzing a short story first by themselves and then using an AI chatbot. It's a lesson in the technology's abilities, but also its limitations.
It's important that we as academics train our students to understand how to use these tools effectively in a critical way and to recognize their limitations and to really make them part of the armory as opposed to something that universities must reject.
I think we all think it's cheating by using it, but I think we're all kind of using it as a thing in class, and then, oh, look at this, it's something new and it can give you all the answers you want in a matter of seconds.
If we can have the conversation with them about how to use AI, then the whole idea that they can't talk to us about it because it's forbidden goes away. And whether or not you like this and whether or not you think it's problematic, you have to realize that it is here. And if you drive it underground, then you stop all conversation about it.
Artificial intelligence was also the talk of the world's biggest tech shows. At February's MWC in Barcelona, US-based startup X-Ray Glass demonstrated augmented reality glasses. The company's virtual assistant app was designed to work with smart viewer glasses to help people who are deaf or hard of hearing better understand what's happening around them. Speech is transcribed from other people nearby, and the subtitles are displayed onto the lenses or an attached smartphone.
We integrated the back end of ChatGPT, which is actually the Da Vinci GPT model, directly into X-Ray. So people can ask questions such as general knowledge or recipes or anything they like, or they can actually ask it questions of their conversation. So, hey X-Ray, can you please summarize this conversation? Or, hey X-Ray, what was the name of the town that we were just talking about?
Since the public launch of OpenAI's ChatGPT in November 2022, tech giants scrambled to release competing generative AI chatbots.